To me, this story really isn't about sports or sex or how necessary caller ID is. It's about how pathetic and clueless white American males have become. Because the kind of guy who thinks there are women out there who just cold want to see your cock is the same kind of guy who thinks Sarah Palin is swell and tax cuts pay for themselves. I will explain that connection further, but first let's just dwell for one more minute on how stupid it is to forget that in 2010, when you text someone a picture of your genitals, you're not just sending it to that person, but to every person on the planet who has access to the internet. Somewhere right now, there's a tribesman in Samoa thinking, Brett Favre is texting a picture of his dick to a woman? That shit never worked. And he's right. No woman in the history of mankind has ever wanted to see a picture of a penis. Go back to the earliest cave paintings. The very first one is of a cock, and after that, they're all antelopes and sunrises. But for some reason, men persist. Why? And here's where we're getting to it. Because men have always been in charge, especially white men. Brett Favre is like a lot of white males. He's owned the world for so long, he's going a little crazy now that he doesn't. Also, like many white men across the country, he lost his job to a Mexican. And if Brett Favre's penis could talk, what would it say? Well, other than no photos, please, I think it would say, I'm not a witch, I'm you. Because for hundreds of years, white penises were America. White penises found America. They made the rules and they called the shots in the workplace, in the home, and at the ballot box. But now the unthinkable is happening. White penises are becoming the minority. 2010 was the first year in which more minority babies were born than white babies. This is what conservatives are really upset about. That the president is black, and the Secretary of State is a woman, and every shortstop is Latino, and every daytime talk show host is a lesbian. And suddenly this country is way off track and needs some serious restoring. If penises could cry, and I believe they can, then white penises are crying all over America. And that's where this crew comes in. The lovely MILFs of the new right. And their little secret is that their popularity comes exclusively from white men. Look at the polling. Minorities hate them, women hate them. Only white men like them. I'm no psychiatrist, but I do own a couch. And my theory is that these women represent something those men miss dearly: the traditional idiot housewife. If an election between Obama and Sarah Palin were held today and only white men could vote, Sarah Palin would be president. Did you know that in 1788, when there were 4 million people in America, only 39,000 of them, the rich white men, got to vote? That doesn't sound good to you? Well, what if I threw in a picture of my cock? Which brings me back to Brett Favre. And I think it is worth noting that in one of the alleged photos of Mr. Favre, he is pleasuring himself on a bed while wearing Crocs. And if you think about it, is there any better metaphor for the sad state of America today than an over-the-hill white guy lazily masturbating in plastic shoes? That's our